What's good, Chaotic Nation? It is your boy, Chaos here. It's time to revisit my top 10 favorite Pokemon of each type. This series is one I did at the beginning of my channel. Since then, a few years have passed and we have had new additions to the Pokédex from Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Many of you on Twitch have been asking about my favorite Pokemon, and since the first set of favorite Pokemon videos are very much outdated, I feel like it's time to revisit this series. The order of this series will be based on my least favorite type going to my most favorite type, and I will be covering all of the 18 types. A dual type Pokemon has the possibility to be considered for both typings it has, because I feel like if it is one of my favorite Pokemon, it should be included on both lists. With all that being said, sit back and relax as we dive into the Fairy type. Number 10, Sylveon. The Fairy type is the only type that I really dislike. I found no reason to add it because it seems just to make the type matchups have more problems than what they were initially supposed to solve. But that's a topic for another video. That being said, I really don't like many of the Fairy type Pokemon, and so I had to make some stretches to fill out this list. Sylveon is one of those. Sylveon is a cool Pokemon, and I really like the evolutions, and most of them are amongst some of my favorites of their respective types. Sylveon is my least favorite, however, just because I don't like the Fairy type. I've just seen that Sylveon has some battling prowess, as well as faced a few while playing competitive, but I just don't like Fairy Pokemon, and Sylveon just makes this list solely because it is an evolution. Number 9, Xerneas. Another thing about this series is that I will be including legendary Pokemon, as there's really no reason not to. While I had Pokemon Y, I really like the idea of Xerneas as a legendary Pokemon. Deer are one of my favorite animal species, and also I've had experience using Xerneas in Ubers while on Pokemon Showdown during the Showdown Live series on both Invisible Corporations and this channel. Make sure you go check out Invisible Corporations in the description down below for more content from us. I really did enjoy running Xerneas, and I look at it as one of my favorite legendary Pokemons, and it's really cool because not many legendaries have the Fairy typing, so it really stands out as a legendary Pokemon as well. Number 8, Tapu Koko. I have an affinity for Tapu Koko as it is my favorite Tapu. I used Tapu Koko on a pseudo-rain team in my draft league, the Premier Draft League in Season 2. Tapu Koko was a great asset to the team because it offered speed control and also gave me switches with its moves. Its ability also allows me to set up Electric Surge, which I could use with my Hawlucha that was paired with it to have Hawlucha be primed to sweep. Number 7, Grimmsnarl. At first, I didn't like this Pokemon, but it grew on me as I began to build my team for competitive in Generation 8. I found Grimmsnarl to be a great counter to many strategies, especially Taunt, and I also see that it is one of the best Taunt users. I've enjoyed it being a good member of my team, and I've also enjoyed the concept of this Pokemon now more that I understand it, as I have grown to appreciate this thing. Number 6, Morelull. Now this is a rather odd choice, and I actually started liking this Pokemon because of the Detective Pikachu movie, because it has a great sprite in the movie. Morelull is actually really cute and also reminds me of an ingredient that would be found in some magical potion. So it really brings back some of my essence of adventuring from my childhood. I really like the design of this Pokemon. It's very simplistic, but it also is very effective. And I really want to use this at some point in one of my playthroughs. Number 5, Mimikyu. I actually used to dislike this Pokemon, and I usually hate the Pikachu clones. But Mimikyu holds a special place since it actually is viable in a game. The concept of this Pokemon is kind of sad, but the Pokemon overall has a great design. I love the disguise ability of this Pokemon, allowing Mimikyu to set up on its opponents as it sets up to sweep. I also have enjoyed using the red card strategy that I mentioned in my gym video of the soccer theme, where I used Mimikyu with a red card. It has been a staple in some of my testing in VGC testing in Generation 8. I also got a shiny Mimikyu as my first encounter while doing a Masuda method for a shiny competitive Mimikyu. Number 4, Alolan Ninetales. This is the best Alolan form in my opinion. I like the idea of this Pokemon since both of its stabs are super effective against Dragon types, which is a nice way to complement the new fairy typing into the game. I really like Vulpix and Ninetales, especially since Brock had one in the anime. Alolan Ninetales was also one of my original team members when I played through Pokemon Sun, and I used it in Season 3 of the PDL, and it was one of my most valuable team members, doing a variety of different things and causing a lot of problems. Number 3. Wigglytuff. I wasn't that big of a fan of Wigglytuff for a long time. It was a pink Pokemon that was kind of feminine in my opinion, but that changed when I decided to use it on my Let's Go Pikachu team. This was my first shiny in Let's Go, and it was the MVP of my playthrough. I enjoyed the versatility of the move pool of this Pokemon, and it also was very fun to use a Fairy-type Pokemon in the Kanto games. Number 2. Galarian Weezing. Doug Dimmadale from the Dimmadale. This Pokemon instantly became a member of my team when I first saw it released. I think Galarian Weezing has really good abilities, and it's also an interesting typing and that's fun to use. This also was my first hunt that I did in the wilds of Galar using the knockout method to find shinies, and I really enjoyed playing through the game with Galarian Weezing on my team. Number 1. Gardevoir. Now you probably saw this coming if you spent any amount of time on the channel. Gardevoir is one of my first Pokemon that comes to my mind when I think about the favorite Pokemon of all time. Gardevoir is a powerhouse of a Pokemon, and it is my favorite Pokemon from the Hoenn region. Gardevoir has great utility in its coverage, it has really good abilities as well, and one of my favorite moments of using Gardevoir was in a match in Season 4 of the PDL where I used Trace to get multi-scale from a Dragonite to set up my Gardevoir to prime my team to win. Gardevoir is a staple on my team anytime I can find it, and I always love using this thing because it has a great typing and Gardevoir is really powerful, so definitely would recommend that for you. Well, that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more content from me. Let me know some of your favorite Fairy-type Pokemon in the comments section below. Make sure you check out the description for more ways to stay connected to the channel. And that's all I have. So thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm Chaos, signing off. Stay safe, and as always, bird it up.